Hey everybody, this is Phoenix Down, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy VI. In the last episode, we helped Edgar clear out the sandworms that were jamming up the engine of Figaro Castle. And now at last the regal structure has risen from the desert sands once again. And now that Figaro Castle is mobile once again, we can use it to go to Kohlingen. However, I am not quite ready to do that because something that I learned while researching this LP is that if you have Edgar in your party at the head of the party, and you go to South Figaro, you actually get a 50% discount from all the shops there. All the weapon, armor, relics, items, you name it. Everything's half off for the King of Figaro. So I am going to head back over to South Figaro and pick up a few things because Kohlingen has a lot of the same armor and weapons for the most part. And they do not have a single relic shop in Kohlingen, if you remember. And this will be also a good opportunity to show off some new enemies like the Maliga, which are just these generic, I don't know, variation of some water monsters we fought before. They are susceptible to ice elemental and water elemental attacks, but they're really nothing to worry about. Celes could have taken them out in a single hit and I could have finished the other one off with a drill or something, but whatever. I'm exploiting weaknesses. And while we're traveling, I want to take some time to go on a more personal note. Recently, last Sunday for me, that would be August 24th, I was at the Distant Worlds Music of Final Fantasy concert in Chicago, where they were celebrating the 20th anniversary of Final Fantasy VI. So it was a special tribute concert for my personal favorite game in the series. I kind of had to go to this show. So it was a really good show. Like the whole second half of the show was pretty much almost exclusively Final Fantasy VI music, which is awesome. By the way, those no rabbits, if you attack them with regular fight command attacks, they will counter by casting Cure 2 on your party members. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, the concert was amazing. They played, like before the show, they opened it up with, I believe it was the world premiere of the Hymn of the Faith from Final Fantasy X. You know, that, crap, I just blanked out how it went. Like, Nobu, I went to the meet and greet, and Nobu Uematsu actually sang that to me, so that was cool. Anyway, here's another battle with the no rabbits. I'll show off the regular fight command. So they're casting Cure on me this way. It's like, there we go, that's how it's supposed to go. Forgive me for singing, I'm not very good at that sort of thing. But it was a good alternative to opening the show with the prelude, so I like that. You know, I like seeing them change up the lineup nowadays. I mean, I like hearing some of my favorites, like Battle with the Four Fiends, or, you know, Terra's theme, and, you know, the theme of love from Final Fantasy IV, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's good to hear I love hearing new things from them, especially if it's likely to be on the next CD. But yeah, they did a lot of, you know, material. They did One Winged Angel, of course. They did, what else did they do? They did Xanarkand, of course. That one's pretty much almost always. I don't think they've ever not played Xanarkand at a Distant Worlds concert. I can't say for that for sure because obviously I haven't been to every single one of them. Anyway, we want Edgar at the head of the party because I want to buy 2 more amulets because zombies are going to be a thing in the next dungeon. So I'm going to equip, not equip, relics, swap out that peace ring for an amulet. And I got another one because, well, we have an open slot for another potential party member, so may as well be prepared. You never know, you never know. But going back to the concert, let's see, we also, I lost my train of thought. Actually, I wrote down the whole track list right next to me, actually. Yeah, they did like the victory fanfare. They always do that early in the show. Just a little short 6-second bit. Gets people's, gets the audience excited for what comes next. They also played the opening bombing mission from 7. They did something from Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13. It was like kind of like a variation of Blinded by Light. you know, I like the original Blinded by Light slightly better, but you know, this was a good alternative too. You know, they did, you know, they had Susan Calloway, kind of a featured recurring vocalist for the concerts. She sang Eyes on Me and from Final Fantasy VIII and Answers, the theme to Final Fantasy XIV. She's actually the original vocalist for Final Fantasy XIV's Answers, so that's kind of a bonus treat there. Anyway, I figure since I'm here, I am going to get a gold lance now. I don't plan on equipping it for a while, but I'll get it now anyway. You know, they did Not Alone from Final Fantasy IX, that was cool. And they did a Chocobo medley before the intermission. I'm going to get one more diamond shield. Notice how everything is a lot cheaper now. The shop people guys don't actually say anything about it, but look at how cheap that diamond armor is. Holy crap, I wish I would have had Edgar in my party sooner. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of money left on me after that. Anyway, that's taken care of. I'm going to head back over to Figaro Castle. Okay, I'll try to wrap up my thoughts on the concert before I get that far, so I can just warp back there. But anyway, so yeah, in the second half of the show, it was pretty much almost all Final Fantasy VI. They opened with the DS opening of Final Fantasy III, which is like the second time they've ever performed that piece since like the original very first Distant Worlds concert back in like 2007. So that was interesting. I thought they were gonna make like a Final Fantasy III, Final Fantasy VI joke. It's like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy III was originally, or Final Fantasy VI was originally called Final Fantasy III when it was released in North America. I thought they were gonna make that connection, but they didn't. That felt like a missed opportunity. But Arnie Roth is not particularly. He's not a gamer. He's barely played the games. I guess he played a little bit of 7 just to get a taste of it, but. He doesn't need to play the games to appreciate the music, and I don't ask that much out of him, although I think he should try 6. But anyway, so then they did a character theme medley. I guess I will just walk back to Figaro Castle after all. So they did a character theme medley for Final Fantasy VI, and we're gonna have a new enemy here, the La Temera. This guy does magnitude 8, so we want to take him out quickly. Yeah, we'll survive magnitude 8 if he does hit us with it, but he's dead. Okay. Yeah, you don't get a whole lot of experience from a lot of these monsters, but anyway, so they did a character theme medley after the DS opening for Final Fantasy III. They started with Terra's theme, then they transitioned into Kefka's theme. A lot of people got laughs out of the video footage for that. Okay, we got a new enemy, the Sand Horses. We want to use the Rasp spell on these guys to wipe them out. They have 100 MP and they die when they run out. So let's see, and Sabin has Rasp as well, and they use Sandstorm. So Celes, yeah, you need to, well, she's not going to get a turn, but we need to do some healing after this fight. But anyway, they did Kefka's theme. Yeah, a lot of people got laughs out of that because they opened that up with Kefka getting the sand wiped off his boots. And just some generally funny antics on his part. But then it became Celeste's theme, which was really nice. The video feed did a really good job of conveying everything that's going on. Do some healing. And then it was Locke's, they wrapped it up with Locke's theme. There's Figaro Castle. So that was the character theme medley. That was really awesome. I enjoyed that. After that, they had Nobuo Uematsu on stage to play on his keyboard for Dark World, the overworld music for the World of Ruin here in Final Fantasy VI. That was pretty cool. Arnie Roth does violin for that. You can get a recording of that on the new A New World Intimate Music of Final Fantasy CD that just came out for me last Friday. I was at the show. I bought a copy of that CD at the merch table. It's really good. It's a smaller scale version of it than what was played on the orchestra, but it was really good all the same. Anyway, we're in Figaro Castle. I'll do some exploring. I'll talk to the people, but I may not read the dialogue while I'm talking about the concert. Yep, I know who you're thinking of, man. Anyway, so they did Dark World. That was really nice. And then it was... After that, it was time for Dancing Mad, the final boss theme of Final Fantasy VI. Oh, by the way, if you have not done the whole backstory event with Edgar and Sabin in the World of Balance, Sabin will leave the party if he's in the party. If you went to Zen and got him anyway, he will wander off and you'll be directed to stay at the sleep at the end to recover and everything. And you'll do that whole cutscene. I'm not sure if the dialogue is any different, but the game kind of tries to insist that you do it now. Speaking of which, I think I will rest up. I could use that. While Sabin's just kind of like... Sabin's been acting really weird ever since we got into Figaro Castle. His sprite's been kind of... I don't know if that's a glitch or what. Anyway, so they did Dancing Mad. The organ was really powerful for that one. They just... Even Arnie Roth seemed to be surprised about that one. He just... When it was over, he's like, I think they opened up all the valves on the organ. Wasn't that loud during rehearsal. Okay, this is what this lady here is saying. I misunderstood this so many times as a kid reading this. But basically, if you go to Tower Fanatics, you know, the cult members are kind of wandering around in a daze. There might be somebody we might recognize there. And if you bring somebody that might be able to call out that person's name and get a reaction out of them, they'll snap out of it, basically. But we'll worry about that later. So Dancing Mad, that was awesome. First time getting to hear the full version of it live. I saw the world premiere of the Distant Worlds shortened version when it wasn't quite complete yet, before they released the second Distant World CD. Yeah, they only had like 3 parts. I was sick that night. I thought I passed out during the performance because I'm like, wait, what happened to the rest of it? Okay, this is a little bit of a connection between Sabin and the matron there. What does this little girl have to say? Okay, Edgar, not until you're older, Missy. Okay, well, where was I again? Sorry, I'm sorry this isn't like me. I normally don't focus too much on things. Ha 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 ha. Kefka's one shy of a 6-pack. Yeah, and the by the way, I'm gonna go into the game, talk about the game again real quick. In the Game Boy Advance version of the game, this is actually this guy is like saying, you know, there's this whole controversy of how Kefka's name should be spelled, because like in some of the Japanese translations and everything, Kefka's name is spelled with C's instead of K's. And this guy here is basically saying, yeah, there's some cult of Kefka members who insist on spelling Kefka's name with a C. But in the end, he's still the same villain we all know. And it's just like a little, it's like it's breaking the fourth wall there. But yeah, I forgot that line was there in this version. Okay, but after Dancing Mad, they played a new arrangement, part of the ending theme of the game. They called it Balance is Restored. It was really good. I was impressed. I mean, the piece itself is always good, so I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, and I wasn't exactly surprised it was good. I was just, you know what I mean, guys. Is there someone over here? Yeah, maybe not. Oh well. Anyway, got the Chancellor over here. Sabin, what a splendid young man you've become. Make yourselves at home. This is our home, so of course we will. And once again, Edgar's at the head of the party, so we can get a discount. Just shut up and take my money. And here you can get a new tool. You could have stolen this from one of the cranes as a very rare steal back when you were escaping Vector. And I think you can also possibly steal it from one of the components of the Air Force enemy. But I didn't do either, so we got the Debilitator. This randomly changes the elemental weakness of an enemy. So that can be useful. I almost never use it though, but it's there. So balance is restored, part of the final ending theme of the game. It's pretty sweet. I enjoy that one. After that, it was the opera from Final Fantasy VI, of course. You can side with the planet. He says the same thing. But anyway, so yeah, the opera was the extended version of the opera that they performed during the 25th anniversary show. I don't think there's anybody up on the top of the castle. I'm just kind of like killing time now at this point. But let's see. So it was, you know, it has a whole segment of the opera that was not even used in the game. It was kind of like a leftover piece, and that was pretty good. I mean, I've heard it before, and I hope they eventually do a studio recording with the English vocalists, because that was real. They did an awesome job. So yeah, and the scholars are researching magic. I guess it's not so silly after all. But anyway, so after that, it was that was basically the final Final Fantasy VI piece. So they wrapped things up with the ending theme, or the main theme of the Final Fantasy series. They had Nobuo Uematsu on the stage to perform a solo piece, and when Arnie Roth said that to him, he looked like he was he like deliberately looked like he was freaking out and got on his hands and knees and just like grabbed onto Arnie's legs like, no, please, please, no, don't make me perform live by myself. But he got up and he whistled the victory theme, so that was pretty fun. That was great. He's got a lot of energy. I like Nobuo Uematsu. Seems like, you know, even without all the fame and you know all the music he's done and everything, he just seems like a cool guy to hang out with. You know, that's the impression that he gives off anyway. So he just seems like the kind of person you could just hang out with, regardless of, you know, the fact that he is Nobuo Uematsu, blah blah blah, you know. But anyway, yeah, so, and the final encore of the night was the battle theme medley that they did at the, now we're gonna go to Kohlingen. But the final piece of the night, the encore, was the battle theme medley that they played at the celebration. It was basically Clash on the Big Bridge, my personal favorite battle theme in the series. Then they did Fight with Seymour, which is, I liked it back in the day when I played Final Fantasy X, but my appreciation of it is growing each time I hear it. And then the battle theme from Final Fantasy VII, of course, you have to have Final Fantasy VII in the encore. And that pretty much wrapped it up, and I was at the meet and greet. I got my copy of Distant Worlds 2 signed by Nobuo Uematsu, Arnie Roth, and Susan Calloway, so that was cool. And like I said before, Nobuo Uematsu sang the part of the Hymn of the Faith to me, and Arnie Roth joined in. I chimed in the last 2 or 3 words toward the end when I realized, oh, hey, we're all singing it. It's like, all right, yeah, I might as well go along with it. It's about the only time I've ever been in tune in my life, probably, which I'll take. Got a photo taken by a professional photographer while I was there, so that was all good. I got that downloaded to my computer, and there's Kohlingen. And we got a random battle with some new enemies. The Boggy, which is a particularly uninspired enemy, although they can do some heavy damage. So we'll take these guys down. Anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up my concert coverage. You know, it was just an awesome time all around. If you haven't been to Distant Worlds and they're going to be playing near your area, I recommend going. It's worth it. I mean, you don't necessarily have to shell out the money for the meet and greet ticket like I did. I'm probably not going to do that again because it's getting pretty expensive, and I've done it more than once, and it just doesn't seem right at this point to for myself to just be greedy and say, hey, I want to do it again, and boom, do it, and possibly cut someone else out that may have never gotten a chance to do it themselves. So, you know, sometimes I feel a little guilty doing it, so I'm thinking I finally hit my point where I'm just going to, like, unless it's like 5 years from now, I don't go to a show, I'm like, why not? It's been a long time. But whatever. We're in Kohlingen, and I'm going to get back to focusing on Final Fantasy VI now. So let's talk to the townsfolk. Those beautiful days will never return, eh? Yeah, it is. Ooh, we're getting a flashback. Memories. The good old days before the apocalypse. The zombie apocalypse? That's more next episode. And she doesn't say anything else. I'm not going to talk to her again. We can check up on the crazy old guy that's got Rachel sleeping in his basement. Maybe he knows something about where Locke is. He seems to be the only person that keeps in contact with him. Oh, Locke! He must be searching the world over for that fabled treasure. Find the treasure and you'll find Locke. Okay, well that's about as good of a hint as we're ever gonna get. And Celes won't have anything to say about Rachel this time. It's like, yeah, you came before me. That's about the extent of it. But anyway, so let's wander around a little bit more. While we're here, a handsome man with a quaint way of talking visited our village recently. He kept saying "thou" to everyone. Thou, thou. Was it Gao? No. Nah, I think we can all guess who that was. It's good to know that he survived. I don't know how useful he'll be, but... oh well. There's still some people with vision, even in this world, like my brother up north. Yeah, he's, remember that guy that was building the Colosseum? Well, I guess that must be, all set. And, do I want to unequip some party members? No, don't do a thing. I don't know if that guy's really supposed to be there or not. I don't have a reason to unequip anybody else right now. There's a real mean guy fighting at the Colosseum. Seems to be looking for a weapon called the Striker. So we'll have to keep that in mind. The Striker. Yeah, if we went to the Colosseum now, and even if we had the Striker, we wouldn't be able to do anything with it right now. Actually, I don't know if that's the case or not. Yeah, we have this Narsh soldier here. But the Narsh is filled with monsters now, so he doesn't have any place to go back to. So that's unfortunate. Let's check up on Rachel's house. Actually, I don't think anybody's in Rachel's house, so I'm probably wasting time. Is anyone living here? Is it still abandoned? I already got the elixir out of the clock, yeah. Alrighty, well let's check up on those two over there in the right-hand corner, and then we'll go and stop at the inn. We rested up, but maybe we need to rest up again. They planted some seeds, but nothing's growing. Okay, lady. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry. Forgive me, miss. I apologize. As if the plants themselves have lost their will to live. Yeah, geez, Kefka's presence is just toxic, I guess. But yeah, Kohlingen doesn't have a relic shop, so that's why I wanted to buy those amulets down there. And again, discounts. What can I say? I love shopping at the bargain bin. Okay, we're in. Hey, I recognize you. It's Setzer! Setzer! You're alive! And he's just kind of hanging out here, getting drunk, because he doesn't have a ship anymore. Come along with us. We're after Kefka. I don't know if I have it in me anymore. What are you saying? I'm just a gambler. I just want to be left alone. This world is too chaotic for me. What's worse, I've lost my wings. So I'm gonna drown my sorrows instead. Barkeep, another round. Sir, I think you had enough. I'll tell you when I had enough. But before the world collapsed, you fought with all your heart. You were absolutely fearless. Except for those times you were scared of the Aspers and the sealed gate, but I wasn't there for any of that, so I don't know. That was then. We could never have that world back. You want to live in this world as it is? No? Then do something about it. That's right, Celes. Motivational time. Waha! Alright, you win. I'm starting to feel lucky. Speaking of which, Celes, still want to get married? I got a coin to flip. Heads you win, tails. Nope. Okay, never mind. Thanks, I needed that. Now let's go visit Daryl's tomb. Wait, what? What's going on here? Why are we going to visit your old girlfriend's tomb, or whatever? We're gonna get us another one. Airship, that is. Oh, hey. We could definitely use a new airship, that's for sure. So things are looking promising now, and the game is being nice to tell us where Daryl's tomb is, which is right over here, conveniently enough. Practically a hop, skip, and a jump away. So now, we have Setzer in the party. He has rejoined us, and he sobered up pretty quickly as well, I'm assuming. So let's hook him up with Maduin for now, since he's already working on that. Equipment-wise, optimize, we got darts. He's not particularly equipped very well right now. I mean, he's got better weapons and stuff around here. We'll give him an amulet, and you know what? I'm gonna give him the sprint shoes because I don't think I really need to give him anything else. Though I guess earrings wouldn't hurt, but even that's not gonna make a big difference. And I kind of want to move fast again. Yay, I can move fast. I'm gonna talk to those guys back here in the cafe. Alright, that's good, buddy. It's good. We must never give up hope. Never give up. Never surrender. So let's check out the weapon and armor shops now while we're here. Unfortunately, we're not going to get an Edgar discount here, but this is weapons. Yeah, we got some Setzer gear here. That's why I didn't stop here first. Unfortunately, I can't afford to buy any of the good stuff. I'll come back here later. I don't really, by the way, the Trump, that's actually supposed to be Doom Darts. Woolsey kind of got this weapon name and a later weapon name mixed up. The Trump is actually supposed to be Doom Darts here because it's the actual attacking animation is darts and everything, and these can randomly do instant death. Unfortunately, most of the monsters we'll be fighting in the next dungeon are undead, so that's basically like an auto revival weapon instead in that case. So even if you have the money to buy those, and you do buy them, they are worth getting, but like nearly all of the monsters that we'll be fighting soon will actually be revived by that attack. They'll die, but then they'll return with full HP. So you might want to keep that in your inventory. The dice, on the other hand, that does fixed damage at random amounts depending on what numbers come up, but they're kind of stacked against you. Anyway, armor, I think, yeah, we're good on armor. And this is just items. Okay. So, guys, next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy VI, we are going to head on over to Daryl's tomb and get us another one. Airship, that is. So this has been Phoenix Down, and I will see you guys next time.